Hey guys, Jordan Connect here for another episode of Embrace the Chase, where we, as a community, are interviewing over 100 entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers over the next year to kind of figure out what makes their success work, kind of pick their brain, learn any tips and tricks that we can add into our lives, and hopefully apply it and see some success come our way. And today I'm really pumped for the 20th episode. We have Alex Willkie on the show, who's a superstar on Instagram, to say the least. So I'm excited to hear from you, brother. Is there anything you want to add to that?
You know what, man? You make me blush. Okay? Brown skin is blushing right now. So, yeah, I'm just a guy. Like, I don't know. The biggest thing is I'm just a guy trying to make a living, trying to help my family out, just like everybody else is, and this is just what I happen to do. You know?
I love it, man. I love it. So to give some context for some of you who are not familiar with Alex, basically Josue Pena, who we interviewed on the show, I believe it was back around episode 10 or so, came out with a course back, I believe, earlier this year that Alex joined and is one of his best students. So 0 to 50,000 followers on his Instagram page in less than 2 months, and started making $3,500 a month just 2 weeks into the course. So that's perspective for you guys. And I'd like to start from the very beginning, Alex. Can you just kind of tell everyone your story from pre all of that to that moment, and then where you are now?
Oh man. So yeah, I could give you the Cole's notes. I'm a little rambler, but I'll try my best. Basically, I was a college athlete. I got recruited to play out, and I live in Canada actually, so it was 2 provinces. So it's about 1,200 kilometers away, 12-hour drive about there. Started there. My whole intention was to go into law, actually, criminal defense, and then I started. I became president of the student association. Then it was shifted to corporate, and then what actually happened after that? I got back. Like I was done. I did 5 years there, and I got home, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to read shit. I hope I can swear I did, but I like, you know what I mean? Like I was just that was reality. I was just like, you know what? Like I like it, but I can't be a pencil pusher. But at the same time, I was like, social media, the internet, really spoke to what lifestyle I want to have. So I decided, instead of dropping $300,000 American, I might as well make a run. So that led me to networking within the city. I did an internship, and I totally believe if anybody, whoever's listening, if you have the opportunity to just do free work and you think it might open a door, just do it. Because everything I've ever done has been that way. Because it led me to an internship with a real estate company. They needed more of the social media presence. That led me to learn about Instagram. That led me to find Josue and Josh 40. And then I partook in their course. And one of the coaches is who I formed a company with. We've recently parted ways a little bit, but that's where we are now.
That's crazy, man. So then, I guess kind of put it in perspective for me. So you were already working, and then you stumbled across this course. Did you get this course for work, or did you get this for your own personal development to start your own Instagram?
A little bit of both. Like it was because it was a paid, it was an internship. But if I gave them results on the platform, then I would get paid off it, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta get good on it. And I just thought, you know what, fuck it, like let's learn. And the biggest thing was that I worked as like a server, a bartender. Didn't really like my job. Didn't hate it, but like hated serving people and being like, hey, like my name's Alex and blah blah, and then like laughing at the shitty jokes and being like, dude, like I couldn't just be like, dude, you're a douche, like better. So right there, I was like, I didn't like that. So I had like a grand, $1,500 left, right? So I was getting close. I had student loans, and just decided, let's do it.
I love it, dude. So then you get in the course, and obviously they teach you how to do everything in Instagram. But what niche are you doing right now, or niche, however people say that, and why did you choose that one?
Yeah. So right now, so the first client we had, my partner, and I gotta give him a lot of credit for this, Sharp Cambos. He knew people, down the throat and then getting that door open. So our first client was a beauty client. And so I started doing that. It's funny because I got a beard. I'm like, dude, it was an eyebrow count, right? I had eyebrows. Love them and love working with them. And I was like, I like this. Like the girls, and I always thought this all my life, just side in the tangent here. I used to have parties all the time. And I would create the party around what the girl's experience would be. So what makes a girl want to come here? What makes them want to have fun? What makes them feel safe? All that stuff. Because I knew dudes are gonna follow anyway. Like they're too cool, right? They're gonna follow anyway. They're gonna follow girls. So when I saw this, I was like, that's kind of the same thing. And they're the ones that are on social media, engaging the most, buy the most, and I just stuck with it. So after we were working with that client, I just started my own. And at the time, the strategies that I had, they weren't necessarily ready to employ or ready to do, because it's a local business and whatnot. So I did the same strategies, and I just got my own account, right? So I started from scratch. Hostway helped me out a little bit, pushed me to brand it, and yeah. So then I grew that, and then I grew rapidly, and that was honestly my first success on growing rapid. Most of the stuff we did was local, and that one was like blew up, and it's at 78,000 right now. I think I started off August 1st, right? So,
dang,
yeah. So it's been going good. So.
That's wild. So then, just for the listeners' understanding, I guess even myself. So this Instagram page that you started on your own with the help of Hostway, it's up to around 78,000 followers. You said you branded it yourself specifically. So how are you monetizing? Or are you monetizing yet on that page?
Yeah, so the first thing I tried, totally transparent, the first thing I tried was using in the link in the bio, you put in a funnel basically with an affiliate, so on and so forth. So I left it there for a little bit, just let it sit, see what happened, right? Because my page was getting at that time about 40, 50,000 views a week. So I was like, all right, well, how many of these people are going to click it? Not very many. But what then I learned was that, okay, well, I know what content is viral. A lot of times, obviously, if I'm getting all this traffic. So if I tag people, I did once, twice a week, I would just say, hey, go check out the link in the bio for this and give you this. Then it upped it, right? It was at 40 to 500 clicks. So I was like, oh, okay, it's getting interesting now. Now that's something else. And I don't know if it was a ClickFunnels issue. I swear I submitted the little affiliate thing. I didn't see no dollars. I was like, I got 2,000 people click this shit. Nobody's taking me up on this free offer. I was bullshit. So what I'm doing now, and I detail this in a 20-minute video. But basically, what I'm doing now is I'm taking it to the next level. Most people focus on email lists. Most people focus on shout outs. To people grow luxury accounts. To be frank. In the Instagram space, people are like, I grew my account 0, 1,000, 100,000. Yeah, well, it's photos of money. And they have no way to make money off it. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So what I'm doing is instead of that link in the bio being an affiliate, it's going to actually lead to a chatbot on a page. And then I'm going to link it with a group. It's a little crazy here, but because on Facebook, on a page, you can actually link groups now. And I can post in that group as the page, right? So because I'm a guy, I can't exactly sell women's products, right? Well, I mean, I could, but it's harder for me to be like, hey, look at these beautiful lashes, blah, blah. It's hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leverage the local community, local experts, whether it's makeup or if it's global people, partner with them. So if they have products that I can sell, I will sell those on the page. They can sell them on the page. I can sell them through Instagram, drive leads. And the chatbot is really where a lot of the work is going to go down, right? Because I want about every week, whether it's a beauty tip or anything like that, or a new product, I can do 2 a week, right? And then at the end, that's where you can say, hey, look, check these out here. This is what you get. Because what happens is when I'm even just on Instagram, people DM me hey, where'd you get that lip stuff? I want that. And I'm like, sell this shit, man. I just posted this. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, well, I have to sell it. So I'm looking for probably like 6, 7 people, and they can help contribute with stories. They can help with their own products, and so we work together in that community. And then I can post from the page onto the group, and yeah, so.
So then, let me actually. I'm echoing on your end. Your speakers echoing just a little bit. Hello? There we go. Yeah, perfect. Because I just want to make sure this comes through clearly. So then a question that I have, you mentioned ClickFunnels, okay? So when you said you're using this link in your bio to a chat box, or chatbot, excuse me, I've heard people say before, so like Marshall Gillen, for example, I don't know if you've heard his name, huge entrepreneur online, he uses ClickFunnels a lot. However, he started to keep everything very Facebook oriented, at least from what I've seen. Is that kind of the play that you said you were leaning towards, where the chatbot leads to your Facebook group sells the product, and Instagram as well, or are you still utilizing ClickFunnels?
I'm not going to utilize ClickFunnels as much. Like if I work with a client and they have the funnel, we could definitely, the owner page could be through there, but I don't want my main thing to be ClickFunnels. And honestly,
Perfect.
the main reason is I'm betting on the big dog right now. Because a lot of people, and I talk to people, it's crazy. Because I think the top 5 free downloads are Messenger, Instagram, Facebook. Right, right there. Facebook just came out with the watch feature, which makes pages with videos much more like an episode, so you can actually see, you can click next, and all that stuff. And they're investing money in it, but also the analytics behind Facebook is in Instagram, right? Is in Messenger, is in obviously Facebook with the Facebook Watch. Facebook owns Oculus Rift, big VR company. And I think like WhatsApp, like a bunch of shit. So the way I see it is that like they're gonna buy everything that's hot. And if they're not, they're gonna replicate. And they're putting themselves in that position to own all the data that they already have, which is gonna give them a leverage over like Google, YouTube, and direct attention. So why it's also crazy is because if I put up a product, right? If I put up a product, let's say it's a face cream, and then I say, swipe up to, no, I don't even have to do that. I could say, it could be in a video, and then it goes viral, 200,000 views, or it's not really that viral, but 200,000 views, right? People are like, oh my God, commenting, that's crazy, I want this, right? On Facebook, I could just pull up the analytics from that, and I could target everybody who either viewed that video, commented, liked, right? And then I can just retarget them on that back end. And I can link it up with the page and link it up with the chatbot. And you can get them all in rotation. So I think it's gonna be hard, but it's definitely somewhere that you can just bounce off of all the platforms, right?
That's freaking genius, man. I love it. I love it. That's crazy. So then I don't want you to give away a lot of the stuff you've learned, but are there any tips, like, I guess, very generic tips? So like Josue has said in a video on one of his Facebook pages where he mentions when you first start growing an Instagram account from nothing, the advice he gave was to post 4 to 6 times a day and then to study your competitors' hashtags. Do you have any general advice like that you could give people without giving away any things you paid for per se?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot I can honestly say, but 2 things that like first come to my mind is make sure that you have a long-term strategy. My first account I made was called elite.estate. I think it's dot. You can still see it today, still up there. It was a luxury homes account. I was like, it's gonna be sick. I'm gonna have luxury homes. I'm gonna show them all over, and it's tied into that real estate niche, right? And I was like, that's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna repost all their stuff. And I got it to like 300 followers in 2 months or something. And I was like, God damn, it sucks. It sucks now. But then I was like, I quit. I didn't put in the work. I didn't put any effort in. And the reason was because I was like, well, what's the upside? Like, what's the good thing? And what I referenced earlier was that you don't want to make big luxury accounts just to have a big account. It does help you. It does. You can sell shout outs, but you're not making much money from shout outs on those pages. It helps you get in higher networks, but that's it, right? And it's a lot of time and effort. So I would say know what your long-term goals are. how are you going to monetize off it? Why do you want it? If I'm a personal trainer, right, that's going to be different than if I'm making a beauty account. So that'd be one. And second would be, if you can recreate viral content, and that's good. But most people are too proud. And what I mean by that is that they're too, they think people care what they think. It sounds rough, but nobody gives a shit. Like, honestly, there's posts I could black sheets I mentioned, but on that video account, I can show you there's if it's a video, I could have 2,000 views on that video. Well, I have almost 80,000 followers. So nobody saw that video, but then on another video, the next one is 300,000. So I don't know why, can't dictate why that is, but some people just care and don't. So when you're creating your own content, it's good to do that. It's good to recognize what's working and recreate. I meet a lot of people on Instagram that are we make our own posts, and it's hard for them to grow because they're not following excellence, right? And if you're a local company, if you're a local brand, let's say it's fitness, it's very easy for you to build your brand around on the backs of viral content. A lot of people are like, oh, viral content, it's no worth. But what it's doing is it's generating attention, right? So if on that same account, if one post hits 1 million people, and it might not even be about my brand at all, right? Nothing but it's in the niche. So it's obviously the same kind of people I'm trying to talk to. It opens up 1 million people. Now that dwindles down, and that one post could generate 10,000, 20,000 views from that one post on your profile. So from just posting that, now I have 10 or 20,000 people who are like, okay, that was cool. What else do they have that I'm interested in? Now that's your shop. That's where it is. And that's where you post your own content. That's where you post your own value. You work on that craft. You need to. And you create excellence. You put the highest product you can out. But that's the situation where you need to have as many of those doors in front of people so they can open it and then be exposed to it. Because my craziest week was last week or something. I had 11 million reach or 11 million impressions. Sorry, that dwindles down to I think it was 7 million reach. So that means 7 million unique accounts saw my stuff, and then that dwindled down further to about 90,000 profiles. Right, so it's just oh, gone. Right, it just goes deep, and then that will translate into followers if they like what's going on. So when you have an account, it sucks at first, but as you start getting more momentum, as you start getting more reach and following, that all speeds up dramatically. So I mean that's cool.
So then when you say recreate viral content, are you referring to pictures, video posts, or stories?
All of them. So if it's a picture, right? You can go onto any. If you got a competitor, I would say on your Instagram you can save pictures, right? You can create a collection. Create a collection. I call it BPP. So that's from Hostway. It's best performing posts, and just look at your competitors because they'll you can see they'll average about let's say it's a big account. You might average 3,000 likes. Then you have one that hits 20,000. You're like, whoa, shit! What was that? Save right there. And then you just look through all of them, and you look and you say, okay, what are the similarities? What are they doing good in these photos? Or the big thing is, what can you think that they're doing good? Because that's the hard part. Sometimes you just don't know. So you try to pick out, right? You analyze the caption, you can figure that out. If it's a video, a big one for fitness things is if it's a crazy workout, a lot of the times these things go viral because they're funny. They're kind of ridiculous. They have a good thumbnail, and they give value to people, right? They're actually incorporating it could be a full arm workout or something, right? And people want to grow personal accounts, look at people with crazy personal followings, and look at the pictures that perform very well. Look at those pictures, recreate the damn picture. but instead of them, it's you, right? So it's like they're by the beach with the sun in their face, and they're like laying back. Like that's the picture you're taking, and you post that baby, right, with the hashtags and everything. That's how you do it. Like a lot of times,
So
it's
you're
not
even
that
saying post their same hashtags.
you what, sorry?
So you're saying even post the same hashtags they use.
Um, Depends on the size and how comparable they are to you. The hashtags are very personal. So I'm not going to post what the Rock's hashtags would be because I don't have his reach. So basically, hashtags when you rank in them, it works as like if slash or hashtag basic or something, for example, right? If the threshold to hit the top 9 was 80 likes, that was the average between the top 9, then you would be like, okay, well, I get 100 likes every post, right? So you would use what they call staircase. So you allow it up to 30 hashtags. So the first 6 would be you rank in them 100% all the time. Next 6 be most of the time you're ranking it. The next 6, it's a little harder. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Those are the next 6. 6 after that, hardly ever. Like you have a really good post, you're ranking in it, but usually never. Then the last 6 are like you've never ranked in them. You probably won't. They're out of reach. But why that's important is because when you rank in those hashtags, it'll actually give you more exposure. So if you guarantee to rank in those first 6, it'll help you get to the next 6, and the 6 after that, and the 6 after that. So that's why it's called like the staircase, because it'll help
Huh.
you get to that next level. It actually can help people's reach in big ways versus just posting 10 hashtags that are like hashtag love and beauty. You're never gonna rank in those. Like those counts are like people who are posting those and ranking got like 20 million followers. It's just like ridiculous. You're never gonna. It's hard to get it.
It's a good point, man. Dude, you're just dropping knowledge nuggets. But I'll get off the Instagram topic. That way you're not spending all your time there, per se. Kind of, let's transition. Tell me who are the biggest mentors in your life and who are the biggest people that inspire you?
Ooh, biggest mentors. You know, start on an easy note. When I was actually student president, I had this woman who became the college president at the same year. Her name is Denise Hennig, Dr. Denise Hennig, but she didn't want you to call her doctor, which is Denise. So her big thing was like she was an Aboriginal woman from the States who came up, was like the first Aboriginal woman, all this stuff, super inspirational. But what she really taught was something called appreciative inquiry. So most of the time you go to business meetings, everyone's kind of pissed off, bitter, and um, not really focusing on positives. She really focused on positives and giving people second chances, but at the same time being firm. So a lot of times when I'm like, fire, it's over, that's it. Like when I feel like that, she's like, she taught me like, actually, no, you don't have to do that like that, it's okay. I mean, right? So she was a very big inspiration for me because she just taught me how to be, and she came from nothing, right? She ended up getting her doctorate and all this stuff. But I'd say probably the biggest mentor that was in my life would be my grandfather. So he passed away when I was just when I graduated, it was like 2011. And he was my biggest mentor because I'd always go to trips with my grandparents. Well, not trips, I'd say go to their house. We went to their house for a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a trip, it was just chilling with my grandparents. And he would always tell me about, because he was a judge and he was a lawyer as well. So he'd tell me about reading, he'd tell me about stories, and he was very, very smart, like very intellectual. And he came from nothing. His family, like the Willkie, like his parents were potato pickers in Jamaica, like no money, nothing, and he went through World War II. And the whole reason was that he's like, I'm probably gonna die, but if I live, I'm gonna be able to go to school in England. I'll already be there, so I can make something happen. And he did, and he was a big influence because he's very intellectual, very calculated, and spoke very well. So
I love it, dude. That's super cool. So
yeah.
then, I guess we'll pivot from there. My next question would kind of be, where do you see yourself? And this is such a generic question, so I apologize, but I still think there's some value in it. But where do you see yourself 5 or 10 years from now? I mean, obviously, it's not like career where you're here in your career, but where do you see either your business or Instagram or really kind of your life? Because even on the Willkie Way, your intro video talks about how you hate the word entrepreneur because you just live your life. So, like, where do you kind of see yourself going?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. I've never been able to predict my life. Like I'd be like, I'm in law school now. It's can't happen like that.
That's a good point.
Like so. I honestly believe my life changes every month. But I would say if I could predict what's going to happen, um, I would say that I get a handle on Facebook Messenger and Instagram, and really start bringing value to people, blowing that up, and making money online. I don't know how much. I don't even know. But the long term play is also real estate. So 5, 10 years, I'll probably own some apartments as well, because I'm gonna get. I mean, closer. I mean, every year, I guess. Um, so hopefully, I'll be able to influence online, help people, whether it's with Instagram or just that whole area, be able to sell shit online, bring in cash flow that way, dump it into real estate, and have a little bit of passive growth going.
I like it, man. So now that you mentioned passive growth online, are you ever thinking about doing an e-course, like your own?
Oh, making a course?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I probably will. Like that's something I've been toying with. I want to make one only though for the beauty niche, honestly, for like makeup artists, for brow experts, because a lot of times girls are really good at social media, like really good. Like they understand. Like that 12-year-old girl who's like posting for the guys in her class with a grade up, like you spend 20 minutes on photos, get the right lighting, the caption, is like sleek slide, you know what I mean? Like it's just like they're thinking and they're not even realizing it. They're just like that's just innate. But a lot of them sometimes it's just perfecting how they do it, right? So whether it's like high quality images or just helping them grow their Instagram, because it's just two different things. So my course would be definitely tailored to them, to make artists, beauty people, and that because I think I honestly cannot make a better course than Josue and Josh, and I would never want to. Right? Like Josue is coming out with the 2.0, which is like insane. It's just crazy. Like it's got everything. Like more in-depth stuff of starting an agency, like photography help, right? So you can take good pictures of the clients, videos, and everything. Like it's insane. Like I'm like, why? Like, I hate those fuckers, man. I don't want to like make a course to be like, I'm gonna steal his shit. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. Like I want to take his stuff. Like a lot of stuff I talk about, 4 pillars of success. Guess who that came from? Almost way. Like, like what am I gonna contribute? Um, so I'd rather stay in my lane and work on the niche that I like and help people sell online through it. And that is, if I was to make a course, that would be what it's about. And you already have that audience, so there's no point in branching out.
Good point, man. Good point. I love it. So, last question I'm going to ask you. It's the same question I ask everybody that's on the show. It's what's on your heart or on your mind right now that you either want people to know about you or just something that you want people to hear in general?
Heart or my mind? Damn. All right. Deep. Good.
Getting deep.
Well, I think the main thing that'd be on my mind right now is I can just go for it. Like it sounds dumb, but like honestly, people worry too much. Like their perception, it's not even making any sense. Their perception is holding them back. For example, a lot of people in early 20s will stay at home, right? It's safe. Why would I spend $1,000 a month living on my own, spending food and the internet? Why would I do that, right? It doesn't make any sense. Who would do that? Well, do the math on it. So that'll cost you, let's say, like 12, 13 grand a year to do that. You can't make 12 to 13 grand a year to subsidize that. And then the next thing that people say is like, well, yeah, but I would save that money. But if you have to go into these situations and see who are you going to become because of that challenge. A lot of people don't. Like when I bought that course, I had no fucking money. It was $25,000 actually dollars in debt. With my student line of credit, no money, making shit all. And I was just like, you know what? Like, you gotta, like, who am I gonna become if I master this? What is it gonna look like? Right? And people just don't have that hindsight to do it. And I think a lot of it comes from the lack of ability to picture almost, it's cliche, your perfect day. Like, who do you want to become? Like, what do you want your life to look like? I think people don't tailor it like that. And like the whole reason I wanted to do law was because I kind of knew what I wanted. I liked networking. I kind of liked helping people. I wanted the money, influence, and the respect, right? But then when you work it down to those base structures, now you can look and like, oh shit, I can do social media and do the exact same thing. Like you just realize, you're like, oh man, like it opens you up in so many ways. And I think people need to just try to empathize with their future self. Who am I going to be? Because now that I have this, like I got in here, and now that I have this place, I got my own office. There's a pool and sauna downstairs. It's sick. Like what? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a good life. Like I can eat clean. Because mom was not like, here's some cookies. You know what I mean? Like just be honest. Like shit. But yeah, think about that.
It's true, man. That's a really good point, man. I really appreciate it. So, guys, make sure you go follow Alex. I'm going to put the links down below to his personal page, to the Willkie Way, which is kind of like his, I guess, vlog series would probably be the best way to put it, just where he shares his thoughts, his opinions, and his advice on Instagram and on life. And definitely do not hesitate to reach out to him. Obviously, as you can tell, super good guy.
My daily diary. I'm launching tomorrow. Actually, I'm launching my 10 months to $10,000 a month. I'm going to try and hit $10,000 a month on revenue, all online. And I like the challenge. You know what I mean? I like the challenge. I'm going to document every single day. So if I come up with some breaking news or some insight that I just generated money off of, that's going on there. Because I want it to be able to go back. I want people to be able to go back and say, if I make it, even if I get 8 grand, it's sick. But I want people to go back and reverse engineer. It's 300 days, 300 episodes, right? 10, 15 minutes each. And they can say, oh shit, he learned that, he learned this, he's doing this. That's how he's doing it, right?
And that'll be on the Willkie Way, right?
I'll be on the Willkie Way.
Awesome, man. I love it. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. I would love to have you back on in 10 months when you're making 10 grand plus a month. And then obviously hear your perspective on things then and your next challenge of 10 months to $1 million a month.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for it. It's exciting. If I don't make it, I'm not coming out. I'm quit. I'm just going to delete it all. It's gone. It's over. It's done. See ya.
I love it, man. I mean, you're going to hit it no matter what. So I love it, dude. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Have a good one, brother. Guys, don't forget to check him out.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course.